The updates, they're coming in very rapidly, and I just did a live stream maybe an hour ago and things have already changed. So let's get right into it. What can you expect? What's going on? What are the latest models? Let's go ahead and take you over to our weather. Here's the newest information. We are now under a winter weather advisory, and this is from Tuesday at 10 a.m. until Wednesday at 7 a.m. This is for the metro Atlanta area. So the purple that you are seeing on your screen. Also, we have a winter storm warning that is for the southern portion of our area. So this is the latest information that the National Weather Service just sent out. Up to 2 inches of snow and slick snow covered roads. Those are all possible. What else are we talking about? We also have a cold advisory once again for the forecasted wind chill. So that's the secondary thing that you need to know, that an update for that cold weather. I was telling you earlier that just because they had expired it at noon, that doesn't mean that the cold weather stopped. That just meant that it didn't meet the criteria for that advisory. Now we have a new one. So let's get back into the forecast once again, time it all out for you. What can you expect? What's the latest on all of the details? Things haven't changed much, but we want to make sure that you are up to date. Here's a look at your satellite and radar as of right now. It is gorgeous, pretty much all across the southeast. The calm before the snowstorm, at least, because we're not even seeing any clouds in the sky. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. In fact, here's a look at our Arizona Avenue tower cam. A look into the city. It is gorgeous out there. I mean, really pretty blue skies, not many clouds. Our temperatures are cold though, and that's really first priority on the weather story for us right now, is that cold weather and how long it's going to be lasting and sticking around. Currently it's 31 degrees, but it feels like 21 outside, and just get used to it, because as we head into your Tuesday, this is going to be sticking around. Now, Wednesday morning, unfortunately, looks like it could even be slightly colder. We'll get to that in a second. Here's our 24-hour temperature change. You might be thinking, man, it's really cold outside. But if you didn't go anywhere yesterday the temperatures fell all throughout the day, and it was just so cold outside. You could feel the wind, you could feel the difference in the air, and that started early in the morning. So because of that, the temperature change is not that drastic. Maybe around 7 degrees colder here in the metro Atlanta area, maybe 10 degrees colder up in Dalton. Here's what you can expect for tonight. It's definitely going to be cold. That's going to just be the story pretty much all the way until we get to Thursday, really. Here's a look at tonight. It's going to be very cold. We'll have some cloud cover start to increase as we head into your Tuesday. Now, Tuesday is a big day for us. Tuesday is the day that we are watching for the chance for some winter precipitation. So it's very important that you stay up to date with forecasts. Another reason why we are bringing you an update right now. This is a look at our weather impact alert. We have not changed this at all. It is still from today until Wednesday morning. We extended it a little bit yesterday, but this is very big news for us because it's going to be so cold. We're going to have at least 60 hours below freezing, and that trend has already started. Right now it's 31 and it feels like 21. So 31 is your actual temperature, and that's 1 degree away from being at that freezing mark. Protect your pipes, your pets, and your people. That's very important. You want to make sure that you're dripping those faucets, opening the cabinets so that the warm air gets to those pipes. You want to make sure that you are prepared in any way possible, because the cold air is still going to linger on. And in fact, I think Wednesday morning could potentially be one of the coldest mornings that we are anticipating, and that's with snow on the ground. So let's get into our forecast track for our feels like temperatures. This evening around 6 p.m. it's going to feel like 18 degrees here in the metro Atlanta area. As we head into your Monday night, overnight. Now, if you work third shift, I used to work third shift, so I know that you might have to get up at 8 or 9 p.m. and then head to work and be there until early in the morning for your Tuesday. Be prepared for the cold, even up in Dalton at 11 p.m., feeling like 12 degrees. Dress in layers, make sure you have on gloves, hat, coat, whatever kind of winter gear that you can get your hands on, make sure you have it on. Tuesday morning at 6:30, feeling like 18 degrees. So it's going to be pretty stagnant between 6 p.m. this evening all the way until 6 a.m. on Tuesday, but still just feeling very, very cold because we haven't been this cold in a very long time. Now, at this point, at 6:30 a.m. on Tuesday, no snow will have fallen at all. We'll start to see that increase in cloud cover. And then around 12 p.m., you can see it feels more like 24 degrees. Still not looking at any snow potential just yet. But as we get into the evening hours, that's when we'll start to see some of that snow really approaching, and it's going to feel even colder. So that adds on to the difference between this snow event and the last snow event. The last snow event, it wasn't this cold. In fact, we were worried that it's going to be too warm to see any snow and that it was going to come in as a wintry mix. This time, the cold air is going to be in place, and that's going to really kind of fuel the snowfall in some places, especially into the south. A lot of places like Mobile, Alabama, preparing for maybe 5 inches of snow. Now, as you prepare for your Wednesday morning, this is what I was saying. Wednesday morning looks like one of the coldest mornings that we've had in a while. It could feel like 7 degrees here in the metro Atlanta area at 8 a.m. Here's the deal. Some schools might cancel for your Tuesday. But if the kids have to go back to school on your Wednesday morning, this cold air is going to be a shock to their system. At 8 a.m., they should already be in class, especially those elementary kids, but they need to be prepared for the cold. I'm sure that some of these schools will probably do delayed start, maybe remote learning, but in case your kids don't get that opportunity, make sure that they are cold. Not just the kids, but you as well. Make sure that you are prepared for the cold weather. If you have to walk your dog, maybe grab a coat for your dog at Walmart. That's probably a really good idea for them. Here's another look at our cold advisory. This lets us know that the forecasted wind chills are going to make it feel very cold, maybe between 0 and 10 degrees. And I just showed you that it meets the criteria exactly. And that's another reason why they went ahead and they issued that cold weather advisory. Here's another look. This is comparing it from the actual temperature to the feels like temperature. So Monday evening, that's today, 31 degrees, like we just saw, but feeling like 19. We'll stick around into the low 30s for the next few hours or so, but the wind chill will make it feel colder as we get into the late evening hours. For your Tuesday morning, 20 degrees, but feeling like 17. And then check out Wednesday morning. That's definitely a big change. 18 degrees, but feels like 8. Now, as you prepare for your Tuesday, a lot of cloud cover for sure. The beginning of the snow, that is still up for interpretation as far as these models are concerned. And we're going to start to talk about that in 1 second, but I just wanted to show you how cold it's going to be tomorrow. Today, we're at least at 31 degrees so far, and we have maybe another 30 minutes before we hit the peak of the day. But 30 degrees and feeling like 22 for your Tuesday. That's a big difference. Here's a look. Now we're going to start talking about the winter weather, timing out the snowfall. What's the latest on that? This is really big. The National Weather Service, they took away the winter storm watch and they replaced it with a winter weather advisory, that's in purple, and a winter storm warning, and that is in pink. So what does that mean? That means that we could be seeing up to 2 inches of snow, and depending on where you are, slick and snow-covered roads. I think that is one of the top concerns with this all, because like I said, the big difference between this snow event and the last snow event are the temperatures. Because it's so cold, whatever falls from the sky could really refreeze on those streets and the surface ways, back roads, wherever it is. What's also very concerning, where the winter storm warning is, those areas, especially Macon and southward, not used to dealing with heavy snowfall. So those roads could be impacted for quite some time. As we head into the weekend, our temperatures will warm, but overnight, whatever doesn't dry up is going to refreeze. So that's what we're going to start to see in places that are in that winter storm warning. Here in Metro Atlanta, we are under a winter weather advisory. So while we're not anticipating really heavy snowfall, you need to be on the lookout for the potential for some winter weather. Okay, let's start timing it out for you. This is a look at our short range forecast track. What can we expect? This is one of the ones that we use on a more consistent basis. What is it showing? The cloud cover you can see is very thick. That gray overlay that you're seeing, that's actually cloud cover. As we get into the 3 o'clock hour, this model now keeping the snowfall to the south. Maybe a pocket of snow developing near Athens, but in the Metro Atlanta area, we're not seeing that heavy snowfall. And even as we advance into the 5 and 6 o'clock hour, this short range model, as of right now, has it missing Atlanta. Now, an hour ago, when I was looking at the short range model, that's not what it showed. It showed it going straight through Atlanta, but staying south of North Georgia. Now, as it goes along, it looks like we'll start to dry out, so we won't see anything falling from the sky by maybe 11 p.m. on your Tuesday. Now, Wednesday, this is another big story. This is another reason why it's going to feel so cold. You can see these arrows on your screen. That lets you know that those winds are going to be very high for your Wednesday morning. As far as the snowfall potential is concerned, this model is for the short range model that I just showed you. So don't compare this to another, but the one that kept it below the metro Atlanta area. And you can see exactly what I'm saying. The snow potential shows that exact same story. Maybe less than half of an inch in the metro Atlanta around the 285 corridor, but south of Noonan, maybe getting 1 to 1.5 inches of snow. Athens, maybe about half of an inch. But this is just the latest model runs, and the models are ever changing. We're going to continue to watch them, and Melissa Nord will be on at 4 p.m. to give you another update. Well, let's take a look at our American model. This model has been changing as well. Earlier, this model had it going north of the metro Atlanta area, and unfortunately, it looks like same thing. Now, because of the temperatures, it looks like maybe on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m., we could be seeing maybe some kind of mix. That's when you see that pink on your screen. That's at 1:30. Put it in motion in the next 2 hours, so by 4:30, we start to see it change over to just snow, but still keeping it north of metro Atlanta. This is the American model. This definitely is a little bit different from what we just saw with the short range model. And it holds the snow in a little bit longer. In fact, that holds the snow in until 7 p.m. And as we advance it a little bit more, we start to dry out more towards 3 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. So that could definitely have some big implications as well as far as the travel is concerned. And then the cloud cover sticking around for your Thursday. Let's talk about the European model. This is 3 different models. This is the last one, but I want to make sure that you all understand what we go through when we are forecasting and the different things that we are looking at. And then I'll give you what I am looking at and what I think is going to be happening. So for the European model, as you can see around 3:30 p.m., it's in between. It's not as far north as what we saw with the American model, and it's not as far south as what we saw with the short range model. It's right in that sweet spot. And the European model does really well with snowfall, and this is the one that we kind of lean on here. And I'm thinking that this is a little bit more accurate in what we can see. A lot of different factors are going to go into exactly what falls from the sky and when this is going to be happening and the timing for it. And I know you might be thinking, this is tomorrow. The show is tomorrow. We know. But the models continue to update. So we have to continue to update you so that you all have the latest information. Now, as we head into Wednesday, all of the models are showing that Wednesday is not going to be a concern. The only concern for Wednesday will be the cold air. Now, as we compare the two models, as far as totals are concerned, you can see the bands are slightly different, and the American model also has more of a mixture. But when we talk about totals, the American model shows metro Atlanta and northward maybe getting half of an inch of snow. The European model really shows metro Atlanta and down towards Peachtree City just getting that half of an inch of snow. So it's all going to determine on where we fall on the spectrum as far as where the snow bands really start to lie. Now, what do we anticipate here for the metro Atlanta area? This is our kind of guesstimate of what we are thinking as of right now. Half of an inch to an inch. This is most likely for us here in the metro Atlanta area. Metro Atlanta only half of an inch to an inch. Why do you say that? Based off of all the models, all of the data that we're looking at, the dry air that could be coming in before the snow arrives, all of the above and even more, we are anticipating maybe half of an inch to an inch to be accumulated here in metro Atlanta. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the end all be all, right? So we could see as low as half of an inch, which that kind of gives grace to the American model. And then we could see as high as 2 inches. So that kind of shows you where we're thinking. Half of an inch to 2 inches is still less than what we saw when we were talking about this snowfall for January 10th and the 11th. So you have to just keep in mind that this is a completely different weather scenario and a different case as well for everything that you need to know. So as far as our snowfall totals in Atlanta are concerned, as of right now, we're looking at maybe 1/2 inch to an inch of snow. But for now, we're going to continue to watch the models and keep you up to date with the latest forecast and what you can expect. Make sure that you're continuing to tune in. Make sure you're staying up to date because it's very important. These models are changing very, very fast. And that is very important to know as you continue to head back into this weather season and head into your Tuesday. Not only are we looking at the colder weather, we are also looking at the potential for some very heavy snow in some places, especially near Macon and southward, which could be detrimental to them because they don't handle the snow very well. But here in Metro Atlanta, just 1/2 inch to an inch of snowfall. Once again, make sure that you're staying up to date with the latest forecast model. But for now, that is all that we have to say. We'll keep you updated. We'll make sure you stay tuned to 11 Live Plus. Here, we'll have another show coming up at 4 p.m.